on Rust, right? So yeah, so before we start, what are your expectations of Buildweek? Like spending a week with our community. So what do you expect out of like at the end of the week? What are your expectations?
I'd like to have a deeper understanding of just Move in general, just
Ah,
enough so I can kind of like dip my toes and try and build
cool,
something
cool.
successful. Yeah.
Right, right. Yeah, that's. I guess that's as good as a reason as any. So any specific like applications like I'm sure like some of you might have gone through the whole SUI ecosystem or their docs at least and seen all their features and stuff. So are you guys planning to build any particular applications in and around that ecosystem, or is it like let's just learn this first and build later? Gain insights about SUI and intro to Rust. Okay, so Rust. Okay, so the whole Move language, it's a variation of Rust. Like there have been customizations around that language in order to create Move on SUI. But yeah, it's I guess it's sort of like that. There is a general pattern when you look at Rust and Move on SUI. So yeah. Awesome. So, any like I said, any particular applications that you have in mind, or anything that you'd like to build? Cult. Yeah. Oh, okay. I would like to build a DAO kind of like cult. Okay. Where we do invest in smaller projects. That's nice. That's nice. So, okay. So, sort of like a Y Combinator kind of a thing, but for smaller projects and stuff like that, right? Yeah, I've heard of the cult people. That's nice. Dex. Oh, okay. Decentralized exchanges. That's nice. So yeah. So the thing is, finish my proposal. Okay, okay. Yeah, I think he's referring to the road to Web3, right? And yeah. So yeah, do once you complete the exams, do submit the proposal. So that's cool. Anyway, so a bit of introductions are in order, I guess. So my name is Sethu. I'm the developer relations engineer at Metaschool. So I'll be helping you guys onboard onto this new ecosystem and learn this whole language. So there is another co-host, like some of you might know her. Her name is Sneha. She'll be joining us, down the line. But yeah, so this is us. So we basically take care of the developer experience. I mean, like we make sure that you guys have an easy road when it comes to onboarding onto new ecosystems, right? So if you have any questions, doubts, or if you are stuck somewhere, or any kind of trouble with any kind of ecosystems that we or courses in our Metaschool platform, do reach out to us. Like we are always active on Discord and everything, right? So that's the whole idea. And yeah. So why this is I think a question that we should ask, right? Oh, good launching platform. Let's. I guess we can make it happen, man. I mean, anything can happen. It's a build week, right? So yeah. So the question is why build week? I mean, why take a whole week of learning? Why? What is the whole point that you see, or what attracted you to this whole thing of build week? I mean, this is a question that you guys should be asking, right? Why am I spending 2 hours every day for a week with the Metaschool community, right? So why build week, guys? Any particular answers, or is it like it's fun learning and stuff?
It's a new world, and I think easing the access to new developers that are interested in this could bring a lot more eyes and more development to the whole idea in general.
Right, right, yeah. Learn a skill, new languages. Yeah, since it's new, it's always fun to actually learn and build together. Consistency, cause it's daily. Good point. Like, yeah, for 7 days, you guys will be locked in on learning this whole thing, right? So yeah. So the thing is, like, when we actually envisioned Build Week or such a campaign, like where we'll be, with you guys for 7 days straight and helping you guys learn it. The thing is, we just want to stick to the whole rules when it comes to learning Web3, right? Most of you guys know this. Like Web3 is always a collaborative effort. There is no company, there is no, a single individual who is actually propagating the whole thing. Like when it comes to Web3, it's all about collaboration. Like you can actually compare it with any other emerging technologies like AI, AR, VR, and all these stuff. I think one thing that sets Web3 apart is the fact that all the other technologies will have a set of organizations or one organization that is propagating it, right? And then you have Web3, where you can take a look at the biggest protocols out there, like Ethereum, Bitcoin, whatever, right? All these protocols are actually open source, meaning it's a collaborative effort, right? It's actually a collaborative effort. So we wanted to bring that into the learning and building space. So that is the whole idea of Buildweek, where we have these short, boot camp kind of a stuff where we just help each other out, learn and build, and in 1 week we'll just absorb as much as we can regarding a protocol, and then just start building on it, right? So lay the proper foundations, like based on the courses. Like we have full-fledged courses on our platform from which you can get a very good understanding of what the protocol or the language or whatever that you're trying to learn. Create and don't consume. So this is actually a core tenet here at Metaschool, and I guess Web3 in general. Like it's one thing to consume knowledge, and it's another thing to create something out of it, right? So that's why we named it Buildweek rather than Learn Week or something like that. Like you can always consume a lot of these information from outside. Like you have YouTube videos, you have documentations, you have all these kind of stuff freely available. So what sets apart Buildweek is the fact that we don't promote consuming knowledge. We want you guys to go ahead and create something with it, right? So this is actually one of the rules when it comes to learning Web3. Don't never consume knowledge. Never just sit there and consume the knowledge. Just build on it and use collaboration as a catalyst. I think you guys already mentioned it. Like learn, move with others, or learn by doing projects, or learn a new skill with the community. So collaboration is always a catalyst, because you have different people from different places coming together to learn different people who have different skill sets coming together to learn language or a protocol, right? So everybody views these things from different perspectives. So even if there is a doubt or a hiccup from that one of us is facing, another one can just chime in and help us resolve it. So collaboration in that sense is a very strong catalyst that helps you to learn quite easily, right? So the thing is, like, so with the Build Week, like, there is an aspect which revolves around collaboration, and then there is always an individual effort that is required to learn this, because the courses in Metaschool, like the Build Week, is based on some of the courses from our platform. So individually you guys can just go through it, and we'll have these sessions every day where we'll just collaborate and share what we have learned and stuff like that, right? So this is the whole idea. This is why we actually started this Build Week, so that we can help you guys learn just like how a Web3 project works, using collaboration, using proper foundations, and by creating something rather than just consuming knowledge, right? So having said that, let me welcome you guys to Build Week. And this Build Week is all about building with Move on Sui. So let me ask you, like, what do you guys know about Move on Sui? And any Ronaldo fans here? Like, what do you guys know about this Move on Sui language? Silence, absolute silence. Like, what have you guys heard? Any tidbits? Any uh, much safer than Solidity? Okay, all right. Let's see. I mean, we'll be learning this, right? So let's see. It came from meta development. It is fine-tuned programming language. Yes. So fine-tuned in the sense, yes, it was crafted for a particular ecosystem. Object-centric, very secure. All right. So you guys have a lot of understanding regarding Move and Move on Sui. So is there a difference between Move and Move on Sui? Like we are talking about Move on Sui, right? So is there any particular difference between Move and Move on Sui? What do you guys think? Do you guys find any difference, or what are your thoughts? You can guess, like we are all learning here, so don't worry. Yes. So you think that move and move on Sui are different languages? Is that it? Shiva says yes. So I'm guessing he sees some difference in that language. A few changes were made. Okay. Tim says that there were a few changes made here and there. So let's just before we start with the whole move on Sui, let's just take a detour, right? Let's just learn about the history of this entire thing, right? We've been talking about move, and we are specifically focusing on move on Sui. So let's just do a bit of history. Let's just go through a bit of history, right? So does anybody know how the whole ecosystem came into being, like the Sui ecosystem? Or who actually started the whole project? Meta was building a platform for payment. Yes, close enough. Close enough. See, the whole history is this. So it started with Facebook or Meta, as we now know it, right? So the thing is, I think during 2018, when there was like that peak, hype around blockchain and Web3, Facebook actually announced a blockchain project, right? It wanted to move into the whole blockchain space, so it announced a blockchain project, and that was a stable coin, right? The project was to create a stable coin for ease of payment and stuff, right? Boundless payments and all those kind of things. And there were when Facebook actually initialized this project or initiated this project, a lot of other companies like PayPal, Mastercard, everybody came in and pulled in their resources to create that project. And the name of that project was it was not DM. DM comes later. Initially, that project was called something else. I think it's right there. Yeah, initially that it's basically the Libra project, right? The whole token was called the Libra token and stuff. So it was intended to be this kind of a stable coin that helps with payment, right? No boundary restrictions or anything. So that was the whole pretext of Sui, meaning, so it all started with this project called Libra. But the thing is, it faced some regulatory concerns. Right at the time, it faced a certain regulatory concerns, and seeing that whole drama, a lot of big companies that backed that project, like PayPal, I think Mastercard, a lot of these people, they actually backed out of the Libra project. Okay, so it started with a stable coin. There were some regulatory issues, so a lot of major players basically backed out, right? So instead of a coin, what happened was in I think yeah, December 2020, the Libra stable coin was rebranded. Like they basically you know did a bit of rebranding around that project and converted into a payment network. Okay, rather than a stable coin, like they tried to convert it into a payment network, right? A sort of a blockchain protocol, to be exact, right? That helps with easy payment and stuff. So that is when they rebranded it to DM, right? So Libra was the initial name. There were some regulatory issues. They sort of pivoted to a payment network, which was called DM network. Okay, so yeah, and once that happened again, like even with the payment network kind of a project, there were hurdles, meaning there were regulatory issues and stuff like that. So I mean, Facebook had to pull the curtains on that project. I mean, Meta had to let go of the project. And the thing is, Move as a language came as a byproduct of this whole thing. Okay, they developed Move for this whole project, like the Libra DM project. They developed this new language called Move, which is based off which language? Like Move is basically based off Rust, right? So, sorry, see that a lot of you guys are joining in. Okay, yeah. So one of the biggest byproducts of this whole Libra DM project was they developed this particular language called Move, right? But I think around 2021, the whole project was shut down. So what happened was the core team behind the DM project, right? The Libra DM project, they formed another sort of a company called Mistin Labs and started developing this what is now known as the Sui blockchain, right? They had the Move language that they built from the initial project, like the Libra project. They took that language, they tweaked it a bit, and they created an ecosystem, or they created a protocol, an alternate protocol based out of all the project experience, and that is basically what we now know as Sui, right? So it all started with Facebook. So this is the short history of it. I'm sure like there will be a lot of nuances, but the thing is, like it was basically an offshoot from the whole Libra DM project started by Meta or Facebook, right? And during the whole Move language was developed during that phase, like during the Libra DM phase. And these guys, like when the project was shut down, the core team behind the project just started another company, Mistin Labs, and developed the blockchain protocol called Sui, right? So that is the whole history, like at least shortened version of the history. Now let me ask you, like, do you guys know any particular blockchain protocols that use Move, or any offshoots of Move? Like you have Sui, obviously. Any other blockchain protocol that use Move as a language? Ah, there we go. Yes, of course. Aptos. Yes. There is, I think, I was doing a bit of research, and I think there is another network called Star Protocol or something, which also uses Move. Hey, Jimmy. Oh, Movement Labs. Okay, yeah. So I was doing a bit of digging around, and I saw that it's not just Aptos and Sui. There are a couple of other projects that use Move, which is good. So yeah, so regulatory issues. I think it was basically around the whole consortium kind of a setup. Like Sui is more of a protocol, in the lines of like other protocols, like Avalanche or Ethereum and stuff like that. Like I think it was around the whole CBD, central bank back CBDC, or like that stable coin kind of a project that they started out initially. Not CBDC, but the stable coin. But yeah, so I think two of the major protocols that use Move as a language is basically Sui and Aptos, right? So Move on Sui as a language has a history of its own, right? It all started with Rust. Now I asked this question once, but now that we have more participants, anybody here knows Rust? Any of you guys know Rust? Oh, nice. Manish knows it. A little, some Rust. Yes, that's nice. So we have people who know Rust. That is good. Like me for one, I'm just starting to learn that language. So you guys can really help me out here. Nice. So yeah, we have people who know Rust. That's good. Do you guys know any protocols that use Rust as a language? Ah, there you go. I think Shankara. Yes. Solana. Like the major one is Solana, right? Yes, there you go. So yeah, Solana, near all these protocols use Rust as a language. Any idea why? I think I saw a lot of articles saying that now that we have people who know Rust, why do you guys think like the Web3 is going towards the Rust language? I see a lot of people saying that 2024 will be big for Rust in Web3. So any idea? Those who know Rust, or those who are familiar with it, what do you think is the USP for Rust? Secure. It is secure. Okay. Okay. It is more. Okay. Is it more efficient than Solidity? That's the question. Obviously. Okay. So I guess that is the biggest. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I'm just learning Rust. I just want to make sure that it is both. So Manish is saying that it is obviously more efficient than Solidity. So yeah. So it's the performance and safety factor, right? Any other particular have proven to have a lot of flows? Yes, concurrency, memory safety. Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that. The memory, yeah, yeah. Like I also heard that it is very efficient in terms of memory usage and stuff. That's nice. Okay. So anyway, so it all started with Rust. Oh yes, okay. Low transaction fees. Yeah, we're getting all these kind of answers. I think we have a very anti-solidity crowd here. uh, yeah, let's see. I mean, yeah, since we are learning, so Rust is basically a general purpose programming language, sort of like Python or any of the other languages that you know, and it focuses on safety and performance, as Manish pointed out. So yeah, so Move is a language is sort of like a language that is built on Rust, meaning it took a lot of themes and principles from Rust, and they introduced it to the Libra project, and that's how Move was created, right? And Move on Sui is is another iteration on top of Move, right? They again customize the whole Move language to fit the Sui ecosystem, right? So you have Rust at the top, and then came Move, which is based on Rust, and they did a bit of tweaking on Move, and they just created a much more suitable language for the Sui ecosystem, which is basically Move on Sui, right? So this is the I would say this is basically the hierarchy there, right? So in this build week, we'll be learning Move on Sui, and giving you an intro to the whole Sui ecosystem, right? So what are your thoughts on Sui? I mean, we talked a lot about the language. So what are your thoughts on Sui? Is it also more performant than Ethereum? I mean, yes. I mean, or the L2s, I would say. Ethereum, like, it's there, but it's obviously. But what are your thoughts on Sui? Fastest blockchain I've been on. Oh, okay, that's cool. Oh, it's definitely fastest. Okay, it scales differently. Yes, you have the whole parallel transactions and parallel executions and stuff like that. Very reliable transaction fees. Yes, the team is pretty cool. Oh, okay. We have a lot of Sui fans here. That's nice. I was at their hacker house. Ah, there you go. There you go. So it was cool. And did you build something out of it? Like what at the end? Like did you build something from that hacker house? Ah, okay. Cool, cool, cool. Oh, this is nice. So awesome. So yeah, so this build week is all about learning the Sui ecosystem. Learning about Move on Sui as a language, and build a decentralized arcade machine. Okay, I have a lot of questions around that. I mean, a decentralized arcade game kind of stuff. Okay, that's cool. I have a lot of questions there, but yeah, for now I'll just give you guys an introduction of Sui. Okay, cool. So I guess for the intro part, this is it. I think we can just jump straight in. Like since it's the build week, we have to start building. So first things first. How many of you have enrolled for the course, for the Sui course in Metaschool? How many of you have started, exploring the course? I have. Okay, nice, nice. Just give me a second. So, for those who haven't started the course, just give me a second. Just give me a second. Okay. Yeah. So the thing is, the whole build week will revolve around the Move on Sui course of Metaschool. Okay, so for those who haven't enrolled, what you guys have to do is you guys can just go to the Metaschool platform and just enroll for this course. Okay, so this course will we'll be basically walking you through the entire course, and this course is pretty big. Like this is actually one of the biggest courses that we have, and it is one of the most interesting ones because we are learning a whole language, right? So for those who are new, yeah. So I've just added the link there. So just go to that course and enroll for it. So we, like I said, we'll be walking you through this course. So you guys can just enroll for the course, and we'll together we'll just go through the lessons, and it gives you a complete end-to-end idea of what the move on suite language is and everything. So we'll be doing it. We'll be doing it together. It's not like I just share the course link, and you guys are just on your own when it comes to learning. No, I'll be there. We'll be helping you with the whole course. We'll be solving all the doubts and everything. So first things first, make sure that you have enrolled for the course, and once you enroll, you'll like I said, I haven't completed the course. I just want to do it with you guys, right? Yeah, I've shared the link. Sagar, thank you. Yeah. So okay, so this link, the move on suite. Okay, this is actually a complete learning track. Okay, this is actually a complete learning track, meaning this consists of like five different courses that takes you from the beginning stage of SUI till the very advanced one, where you'll be building a loyalty program on a SUI. Okay, right now we are focusing on the course 2 of this learning track, which is built on move on SUI. So this course is all about the language. Okay, so if you guys want a quick refresher on what the SUI ecosystem is, you guys can go ahead and go through this course. This is basically a theoretical course that gives you a good understanding of what the SUI blockchain is, what is its architecture, what separates it from Ethereum and stuff like that. Okay, you guys can just revise this course, or you can go through the course to get that fundamentals. So in this build week, we want to build something, right? So this is more of a theory kind of a course, and this is where things start getting fun, because we have to work with a lot of code. So for this build week, we'll be focusing on this course. Okay, and this is actually the link to that. So just go to that link and enroll for this course, right? Just give a thumbs up once you have done enrolling into the course. Those who have already enrolled, just put a thumbs up in the chat, or just say done or something. Okay, that's cool. Yes, enrolled, done. That's nice. That's nice. Awesome. All right, so let's. I see a lot of you guys. Okay, that's good. All right, cool. So yep. All right. Tim, Jimmy, Shiva, Sam, Shantanu, everybody's already enrolled. So let's start. Right. So yeah, as I was saying, this course is all about helping you understand the move on suite language. Like it's super fun to learn a new language, right? Like today we are like I was introduced to a new language called Julia. Like how many of you have heard of Julia? How many of you have heard of Julia as a language? Yeah, so exactly. So the thing is, for me also, it was very new. Like someone introduced us to this language called Julia, and it's always fun to learn a new language, right? So how do you learn this? Yeah, mostly for ML, yeah, for analytics purpose. But yeah, there is, and it's that language has been here for around like 12 years. Okay, so it was new info for me too. So that's cool. So the thing is like, what are the things like whenever you are learning a new language, what are the steps? Like when you learn Solidity or when you started picking up JavaScript, what are the steps? The Julia is old, dude. Every language is old, other than I guess Solidity and Move and stuff. If it's not old, it's not reliable, I guess. So yeah, and we sincerely hope that Move and every one of these languages, gets to grow old. So yeah, so the question is, so what are the steps? Like, what would you say is the best way to actually start picking up the language? Learn syntax, practice, then develop. Learn the syntax. Okay. Firstly, learn about the fundamentals. Yes. So okay, so it's about learning the fundamentals, but the thing is, I guess one of the most like even when you're learning Python or JavaScript or any of these languages, one of the most toughest part is to actually set up that whole development environment, right? Like picking the right IDEs or installing a bunch of stuff that the dependency stuff and all these things. By the way, how many of you what is your favorite IDE right now? Like, what is your go-to IDE that you use to develop stuff? Very important for Sui. Yeah, I mean, see, this is not much of a secret, but the Metaschool community is pro VS Code. Okay, we have a VS Code fan base. So I guess everybody in like most of the people in the Metaschool community is a huge fan of VS Code. So I guess yeah, by the looks of it, Manish prefers Vim and stuff. That's nice. But like the majority basically prefers VS Code because it's cool, right? So yeah, the thing is, I guess like so today what we are essentially doing is we'll be helping you guys. So in order to get started with the language, you have to obviously install a set of dependencies and stuff, right? So we'll start with that, like help you set up the whole environment where environment to run the move on Sui language, write our first smart contract, learn about the whole how the whole smart contract works and stuff. So we won't be covering the entire section of the course today. We'll see how to set up the development environment and deploy the first contract. Okay, so the thing is, this whole build week is kind of planned in a sort of a reverse engineering kind of a scenario where initially we'll just see how everything runs by deploying our first smart contract, and in the coming days we'll see what are the components of the smart contract, how it works and how it interacts and everything, right? So by the end of this course you will have a complete dev environment set up in your system where you can write smart contracts and deploy Sui smart contracts onto the network and stuff. And in the coming days, we'll see how all these parts work, how the language works, and how can you develop a lot of things with it and everything. Right? It is sort of like reverse engineering. Like we'll give you that whole excitement of deploying your smart contract first, and then we will just take you through the step of how did we do that in the first place. And with that knowledge, you guys can just go ahead and start working on your own contracts and stuff, right? So all good. Any questions or doubts? I mean, I know that this is pretty fairly early, but any questions so far regarding move on Sui ecosystem, anything? Anybody have any questions or doubts? I mean, no questions. I mean, we're just getting started, right? So yeah, and another cool thing is like you guys can see that ZK login with Sui. Oh, okay. Are we going to go with the ZK login for Sui? Let's see. I mean, the chefs are cooking up some courses. I can't give you any more details, but yeah, the future is looking good, especially for ZK in Metaschool platform. So yeah, let's keep our fingers crossed. We need the menu. Yeah, I can't give you the menu. That's the problem. I can just once the whole thing is prepared, I can just present it to you guys. So yeah, so one of the cool things is like I already mentioned the whole Sui learning track, right? So once you complete the chapters in here, you will get one of these cool badges. Like this is for the first course, this is the second course. So just complete the whole track, and you have like this really cool collection of NFTs, right? So yeah, we need the menu. I'll not tip that. Oh, okay. Well, don't worry. It's a very good menu. Like especially when it comes to ZK, like all of us are exploring it, and we definitely want to build a lot of cool courses around it. And Sui, the login thing is, let's just say it's positive. It's a very positive thing, or it's something that we definitely love to work on. So yeah. So and before that, the thing is, how many of you are already there in our Discord server? So the thing is, all the conversation, most of our Metaschool community conversation happens via Discord. So you can just use this link to join our community. Just nice. Just click on that link. It's already there in that course. Just click on that link and just accept the invite. Right. I'm already there. So, and what you have to do is like once you are in the server, just go to the start here board, react with the emojis, react with the globe, and go to the introduction channel and just introduce yourself, right? Just give a proper introduction, like what you do, what drove you to Web3, not drove, I mean what interests you about Web3 and stuff like that, right? And we have a dedicated section for Sui. Just go to the Fortnite with Sui, and all the chat and everything is happening here. So yeah, so this is the section where we are talking exclusively about Sui and Buildweek and everything, right? So yeah, if you have any questions, you can just post it in the Ask Me Anything channel. I don't know why people are still spamming it, but we'll just take care of it. Anyway, you have a special corner for Sui. I hope you guys are happy with that. All right. So yeah, now that we have the Discord covered and everything set, let's just start with the Sui. Let's just start setting up the environment for the move on Sui, right? And also, if all this sounds good to you, do give us just tag along with us on our socials, like Twitter and LinkedIn and stuff, right? All right. Having said that, let's get started. So yeah, as most of you know, Sui is when we talk about the history, it's a separate blockchain platform or a network on its own, and it is something called a layer one blockchain. So, what is the whole idea behind that? I see two people in Nandanishore's screen. Anyway, yeah. So, what do you mean by layer one? Its own token for gas. Okay, not built on any blockchains. Yes, the fundamental layer, right? Ethereum is a layer one. Bitcoin is a layer one, right? Meaning these are all the base layer blockchains on top of which you can build, other protocols and stuff. Yeah, own transactions and own protocols, exactly, right? So Sui is also a layer one protocol. Okay, it's not a layer two, or it's not a protocol that is built on top of any other protocols. It's basically a layer one, right? And it's I mean, one of the most intriguing factors about Sui is actually something called as objects, right? Sui and Move on Sui, they focus on this whole idea of these objects. So any idea what this is? Like, what is the whole object? Or it's I think it's called a resource model. Like Sui follows something called as the resource model. Any idea on what that is? I think when you look at any given example or any given doc of Sui, you'll always come across this term that it is actually based on this object, or it is object centered, or it uses objects. So what is the whole idea there? Everything is an object on Sui. Okay, so how is this different from Ethereum? How is this different from Ethereum? I'm still waiting. Everything is a transaction. I mean, oh wait, in Sui also we have transactions, right? Parallel transactions, yeah, that is actually a feature. I'm focusing on one of the key factors or one of the key USPs of Sui. It's called the object centric model. Like Sui, everything is object. Everything is an object in Sui. So what does that mean? Ownership. Yes. See, the thing is, when you look at Ethereum, everything is actually based on your account, right? Like one of the first thing that you need in order to interact with the Ethereum network is an account, And within that account, you can store NFTs, you can store tokens and all those kind of things, right? So when you look at it in Ethereum, in Ethereum, our first point of contact is an account, right? You have the account that takes care of all your assets, right? You can use the account to get the NFTs, tokens, and all those kind of things. In Sui, these each of the tokens or each of the NFTs or whatever it is, they are treated as individual objects. Okay, meaning it is not an account centric model. Everything like from the NFTs that you want, token, whatever it is, whatever asset it is, each of them is treated individually rather than being attached to an account. Do you guys understand? To break it down, like think of Ethereum, as sort of this banking network, right? You know what is the one of the first requirements to actively participate in a banking network? Like, what is the first thing that you need to interact with the banking network? Right? You need a banking account, right? You need a banking account. Like you need that account to get loans, credit, put money in your account, transfer it to anybody. So Ethereum is sort of like that. Everything revolves around that account, right? Sui is more of like a library management system. Now, what is the core thing in a library management system? Like when you look at a library management, what is the core thing there? Like when you look at the banking network, every individual is represented using accounts, and everything revolves around the account, right? The account is protected and everything. So what about the library management? It's the books, right? Every book is an individual entity on its own, and the entire system revolves around that book, right? It's about borrowing a book or it's about indexing a book. Do you guys understand the difference there? Right? When you look at a library system, it's about a book, right? The library itself revolves around these individual entities called books, right? You can borrow the book, you can index it, you can lend it out, you can do whatever with it, but it all revolves around these individual resources called books, right? Am I right or wrong? Like I can be wrong. You guys can correct me if you want. No issues there. Right, that's the difference there. So this is similar to what Sui does. Here every resource, everything that you want, token, NFTs, whatever, it is treated as individual units or individual entities rather than being attached to an account as in the banking model. Is that clear? So it's not like you have 10 tokens in your account. It's like there are individual tokens and each token will be owned by a particular account. Okay, it's the inverse of what Ethereum does. Right? It is sort of we need account to all resources. Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not saying that one model is better than the other. I'm just saying like how Sui deals with it. Okay, so so the whole idea is that you have Sui where each individual asset or each individual token or whatever is treated as a separate entity or an independent entity, right? And each entity can be linked to an account, right? I can say that, okay, this token is owned by this account. It doesn't revolve around the account like Ethereum. In Sui, it revolves around the entity or the object. Exactly like how the banking system is different from the library system, because in library it revolves around that whole book, right? And in banking it's about the person and his account. Are you guys able to correlate, or should I explain it a bit further? See, that is actually one of the fundamentals. Like the reason why I'm explaining this is a lot of us come from the whole Ethereum background, right? We are all familiar with writing smart contracts in Ethereum. So I just want to give you that clarification that here it is not based on the user's account. Here it's object centric or resource centric model where each resource, it can be anything that you create in the Sui blockchain. Okay, each of them is treated individually or independently as an object. Right? So yeah, and signed and sorry, read it again in the sense. Is there any contradictions? You can feel free to just state it. No issues there. Yeah. So we need accounts for resources in bank, but we can just own resource. But if it is a robbery, okay, I'm a bit confused about that. I mean, I'm not saying that SUI doesn't have the whole account concept. The way it deals with it is a bit different. That's it. Okay, like as we go through the chapter, I think I'll just explain it a bit more. But just now, ignore it. I mean, yeah, if you can just explain it a bit simpler, like maybe it just flew right out of my head. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, so the thing is, every asset is an independent object in SUI, unlike in Ethereum, where every asset like we manage everything via an account, right? So yeah, and in SUI we have these things called single-owned or shared-owned objects. What do you mean by a single-owned object or a shared object or an object that is shared? I mean, I guess the whole explanation is in the naming itself, right? There can be objects in SUI that can, where a single individual can own it, and there can be objects in SUI that can be owned by multiple people, right? So that is the whole idea. Like, it gives you like single owner, symbol, and it says that for objects that are single owned, let's say it's a book or something that you own, right? Only you own a book, or let's say it's a car that you own, right? In SUI, in order to conduct a transaction for single owned object, it doesn't have to go through a consensus mechanism. Okay, it's just like if you want to transfer a book, like you have a book that is owned by you, you have to transfer it to your friend. You don't need to get the validation from your society to send that book to your friend. You can just directly go and share it with your friend. But if it is, let's say, if it is a multi-owned object, let's say you have a car or something or an apartment that is owned by a couple of your friends. In that case, in SUI, you need to go through the whole consensus mechanism, right? So this is what is mentioned here. So every object is basically treated as every entity in SUI, every resource, every token, everything is treated as independent objects in SUI, and these objects can be owned by a single individual, or it can be owned by multiple individuals based on how we want to program it, right? And for these objects or these resources that are owned by single individuals, if you want to transfer it or transact using it, you don't have to go through the whole consensus algorithm, right? It can be direct transfers. But if it's an object that is owned by multiple individuals, then the whole transaction process kicks in. And what is the transaction mechanism? Sorry, not transaction mechanism, consensus mechanism in SUI? Any idea on what the consensus mechanism is on that SUI uses? Is it pause? Yeah, there you go. It's. I think it is already there. It's basically some. Is somebody sending me messages? Yes. Okay. Narwhal and bullshark. That is actually a different conversation. Like the consensus is actually delegated proof of stake (DPoX). But we'll get to the narwhal and bullshark part. Okay. It's yeah. The consensus mechanism is basically a DPoX or delegated proof of stake. So the thing is, so the whole concept, like, did you guys understand the whole structure of how SUI manages its assets? Right? Everything is represented as an object. Okay. Each object can either be owned by a single individual or it can be owned by multiple individuals. If it is a single, if an object is owned by a single individual, when it is transferred or when we are using it for a transaction, it doesn't have to go through a consensus mechanism because it's one-on-one and it doesn't affect anything else. Okay, no other person is involved. It's just you and the person who is transferring it. There will be some basic verification of the transaction, but that's it. Okay, and due to that factor, you are allowed to conduct multiple such single-owned object transactions parallelly. Okay, that's where the whole parallel transaction thing comes in, right? If 10 of you own 10 books, let's say like you and 10 of your friends have some books with you. So 10 of you own 10 books, and you 10 of your friends wants to send that book to somebody else, right? You guys can do that at the exact same time, right? Like I own a book, let's say Manish owns a book, Charanjit owns a book, everybody owns a book, and we are planning to send it to another friend of ours. So each of us can do that individually, right? None of these transactions is affecting the other one, right? So that is why like we can conduct that transaction parallelly. So just like the SUI objects, that is single owned, right? But for multiple owned things, there are a lot of criteria that you have to check. That is why the consensus mechanism kicks in. Do you guys understand? Like any questions or doubts there? So this is basically the foundational difference between SUI and Ethereum, or a blockchain like Ethereum. Okay, that's why I'm just emphasizing on it. So any questions or doubts regarding SUI and how it treats the objects and stuff? Think of it like the difference between a library system and a banking system, right? Where banking revolves around the account and stuff, and the library system revolves around the individual units like books, right? So, any questions so far? If you have, just feel free to ask. Okay, and this is where we move on from the whole Ethereum lore to the SUI lore, right? No more accounts and stuff. I mean, accounts are there, but not in the way that we use it in Ethereum. Any questions? Any doubts? Is it a yes or a no? Uh, yeah. Like there are scalability things there, but the thing is, the whole parallel execution comes thanks to the whole removal of consensus for single-owned objects, right? If you go through this, you can see that when it comes to these single owned objects, or these objects that are owned by one individual, when they are transacting using it, it can be parallel. Like multiple single owned object transactions can be conducted parallel, just like how 10 of us can send one of our books to a friend, right? 10 of us can do it parallelly because none of each of those transactions are independent of each other, right? So similarly, if it's a single owned object, you can have parallel transactions where multiple single owned objects can be transacted parallel, right? And they don't have to go through that whole consensus mechanism, right? And it also helps with the scalability. So only if there is a multi-owned object that is being transferred, it has to go through the consensus and the whole delay that comes with it. Other than that, it will be much more faster. So yes, I mean that is one way where SUI becomes faster. So yeah, any other questions? Do you guys understand the whole paradigm? Like, is that clear, or at least 70 to 75% of it is clear? Because once you go through the course, you will understand. You will get a better understanding of it. But for now, like at least, do you guys understand the fundamentals of what the object model is and stuff? Clear? Okay. All right. So yeah, that's the like I said, that is the first step away from Ethereum and into the SUI worlds, right? You don't deal with accounts the same way that you deal with it in Ethereum. Okay. So yeah, this basically talks about how what exactly is Move. Like we talked about Move, right? It was based off of Rust. It was created by the team who built the whole Librarium project and stuff. So Move on Sui, it took a lot. It is basically an enhancement to the Move language to fit the whole Sui protocol, right? basically what they did is they basically created a language that can increase the throughput, reduce the delay and stuff like that. So yeah, and these are the things that we have mentioned. Like SUI has its object-centric model, right? Every resource, everything that you want, every kind of resource that you want to represent in a blockchain is represented using an object. Okay, and each object has its object ID. Just like how a book in the library has a unique ID, each object can have a unique ID suite, right? Yeah, unique global ID. Again, this I'll explain the whole unique IDs globally when we talk more about the coding. But just know that there are ways to represent the there are ways to represent the object in the entire global state, right? And yeah, and it has a modular initializer, just like modular initializer, meaning there is a part of SUI that helps you initialize the object or the data that comes with the object. So these the first 2 points are basically the theoretical aspects of it. The rest three, these 3 points actually comes into play when you are actually working with the code. So just keep these points in mind, but we will be looking into it as we code, right? Once we code, we'll understand how the modular initializer works, or what is the entry point and stuff like that. Okay, and down here, you have the explanation of all these things, like what we just explained. Objects as input. So the thing is, just like most of the, in JavaScript, like those who use JavaScript knows this. Like, in a function, you can pass an object or a function as a parameter, right? So just like that, in SUI, you can actually pass an object as a parameter to the function and get started with it. So the thing is, in order to completely grasp these concepts, you need to start working on the language, which we will start, right? But until then, just hold on to these points. Okay, as we progress through, you will understand what it means to act as an entry point and stuff like that. But yeah, so you guys can just read through it and get a basic understanding, and as we start coding, you'll get a better understanding of what all these points mean, right? So I guess that is the general intro towards SUI. Like, it gives you, so this part is all about introducing you to the SUI blockchain and giving you an introduction to move. But the core takeaway is the difference in which it handles the asset, that is using the object centric model, right? So once that is done, I guess now, like I think we can have a 1 minute break, because now it's all about coding. Like, up till now, I was just going through the slides and the theoretical part, but now it's about setting up SUI and writing your first contract. So let's just take a 1 to 2 minute break. If you have any questions in that time, you can ask. Or if you guys are good to go, we'll just start working on installing all the dependencies. So yeah, let's just take a 1 minute break so that everybody gets a breather, right? So any questions till now, or any points till now, or any confusions? If you have any confusions, just ask, because these are the fundamentals, right? Remember our 3 rules. Like, we need to address the fundamentals first. So in case you have any questions, do ask, do put it in the chat. No questions? Everybody is good to go on SUI? Yeah. So shall we just start, installing this whole things? Like, is there any doubts till now? Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much did you understand about the whole SUI and the way it represents objects, or way it represents assets?
We use
Just
a
a number.
transactional, so since a lot of us know, um,
I'm sorry, but there's a bit of an echo in. Can you just write it down in the chat? If it is a question, can you just write it in the chat? Yeah, pretty straightforward so far. Yeah. Yeah, it takes a lot from the object OOP model. right? It takes like Sui takes a lot from that model. I think it is quite similar, like that object-oriented model that you see in C++ and stuff like that. Sui also follows a similar pattern where every real-life asset is actually represented using an object. Okay, you can add properties, attributes, IDs, and stuff. So it is actually quite similar in that sense. So for those who understand like the OOP model and C++ and languages like that, you are familiar with classes and everything, right? So you have a similar kind of, not exactly the same, but almost a similar model where real life assets are actually represented using objects. And each objects have a unique set of properties and attributes and everything attached to it. So yeah, it's actually quite similar to that. A transactional scenario, yeah, let me see if we can run the transaction. But like I said, since we are going step by step, like we will be doing all that, but since we are moving step by step, I think if we just do that whole transaction, there will be a lot to explain. Let me see if I could find a transaction from one of their explorers and just explain. Give me a second. But in the Explorer, I think it is pretty straightforward. But let me see. Let me see. Just give me a moment. Yeah, I don't, like I said, the thing is, it is like when you look at the Move Explorer, it is quite different from our traditional, Ethereum explorers. Like you can see the transaction blocks and stuff, like which is basically similar. But here, I don't know. Like the thing is, like if I start explaining this, like since we are just starting out with the whole course, it might be a bit too much. But you can see like the input, like the object IDs and stuff. Meaning transactions do revolve around them, right? Like the inputs and everything. I don't know, but yeah, I guess we will look into this once we move a bit more, once we are a bit more familiar with the whole ecosystem. Because if I start explaining it, like I'll have to cover, like I'll just bounce over a lot of topics here. But yeah, the thing is, think of it like this: you are using transactions to manipulate that objects. Okay, like maybe change the ownership or maybe change the property or something like that, rather than the other way around. We are just where we are just transferring from one account to another. Who will become the trust versus move versus solidity? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, apparently like Rust will be big in 2024, but I think, I don't know. Like solidity is big. I wouldn't downplay solidity. Solidity as a language is quite big. I'm like, if like there are more options, I mean, I'm always happy for it, but I don't know. Solidity has been standard for quite a long time. Shared objects are going to confuse a lot of people. True, true. But yeah, let's hope. The thing is, like, it won't be complete. It won't be a complete decentralized ecosystem if we don't have options, right? So I'm all for, like, I don't want Solidity to be the only language in the blockchain ecosystem, because that makes the whole thing centralized, because it's centralized in terms of language. So I'm always open to more having more languages in the game, right? I mean, it's not just decentralization in terms of consensus or leadership or management and stuff. All these things also comes under the whole decentralized. You need options. Like if it is a truly decentralized ecosystem, you need options. And I think Rust, Move, or any of these languages actually plays a part in making the system more decentralized as we plan it to be. Right? All right. So having said that, let's just move to the requirements part. So as with any given language, you need a set of dependencies in order. You need to install a set of dependencies to run the whole language. So how many? So we have given 3 different sections, right, for Mac, for Windows, and Linux. So based on your system, you can just follow them through. Like there are step-by-step installations. You need Git, you need CMake, which is like a building tool, based of C, C++ and stuff. Curl, which is another tool that helps you download and all those stuff. Those who know Linux and stuff knows this. And so, pretty basic set of instructions. I think the only major difference will be for the Windows one. Yeah, Windows is pretty much straightforward, right? You don't have commands. So how many of you are using Windows? Or how many of you, which is the OS that you're using? Any Mac users, Linux users? Mac user. Oh, okay. Linux, Windows, Linux. Okay. So I'm also using Linux, so I think I can only run the Linux command for now. But I think Mac also has a similar set of commands. No, I think CMake is pretty. I don't think it will. I don't think it will. Oh, you use, okay. So you use Mac for programming and Windows for gaming, I guess, right, Jimmy? That's cool. I mean, yeah, I guess it makes sense. WSL and stuff. Nice, nice. So yeah, so I'll just run the commands in Linux, which is my like I'm using Linux right now. So I'll just help you guys with the command. So this is basically the update command, and you need to install curl, which I have already installed. Yeah, so curl, as some of you might already know, it's used for getting data like over networks and stuff. So once you use the command and just type in curl, I think. Oh, I have curl. Oh wow. Let me just install curl. I thought I installed it. It's already there. I didn't use version or something. Anyway, and Git, which is for repos. Like we'll be using a lot of Git repositories. Like a lot of things are in the Git. Like you can see, code is like we use a lot of code by pulling it from the Git repo. So we have Git, and all these things are essentially dependencies like GCC, like compiler dependencies and stuff for running the SUI, like move on SUI and running the whole SUI ecosystem. So Git, okay, which system are you using? Git or okay. Yeah, let me see if it is a persistent issue. Let me see if I could get a better link or something. Okay, I'll just share that. Uh, if there is any errors, I'll just share it up, link in the Discord server. Ubuntu, yeah, it should have the Git pre-installed if I'm not wrong. Yeah, it should. I'll just share, like if it is persistent, just let me know in the Discord and I'll share some workaround for it. Right? So yeah, so install these step by step. I've already done this. I don't know why curl is not there, but yeah. So I've already installed the essentials, and that these are all libraries and stuff for running the whole sweeping SUI and running the whole move on SUI language. And it goes the same for both Mac and Windows. I think Windows has the most direct. Yeah. Pass command. Yeah. I know. I was just, that was just a silly mistake from my end. I was just trying to write past it, but you guys got it. You need to give the URL stuff. Yeah. I got it the moment I just typed in curl. Anyway, so I was just trying to brush past it, but yeah, good eye there, Manish. So anyway, yeah, so yeah, that's the thing. That's the point that I'm coming to, right? See, the thing is, when you start installing, so once you install all the dependencies, you can start installing Rust and Cargo and Rust. You can use the curl for that, and or if you can, in order to install Rust, you can just go to the official Rust page, right? They have all the installation stuff and everything, like for configuring the path variables and everything. So all these instructions are here, and the thing is, some of these things actually take some time, right? Like for building the binaries and stuff, it takes a lot of time, right? So just make sure that like I don't think like even if you guys are following along, there the thing is it takes quite a bit of time to build some of these binaries. So you have the commands here. Just go through it. What we are essentially doing is we are making sure that we have all the dependencies to run the SUI ecosystem, right? Not run, sorry, develop and deploy on the SUI ecosystem, like using move on SUI and stuff. So some of them do take a time, but the thing is, if you want to make sure that everything is proper, you just have to type in the once you copy and run all these commands. You just have to type in the SUI version command to see if everything is checked, everything gets out. There you go. So once this whole thing is installed and everything is proper, you will get this correct version. Okay. And if anybody is facing any issues with any of these links, like this, pretty straightforward installation guide, right? Already have installed version of code. Yeah. So yeah. So if any of you guys are facing any issues with any of these links, just let us know in the Discord, and we'll just provide you, or we'll just give you a workaround, or we'll provide you better links to that. I think most of them works. Like I did check those out. Protocol buffer. Okay, Windows. So any Windows users here? Because I haven't used Windows for quite a long time. So yeah, the protocol buffer. Yeah, I think you can go with the latest, like the most stable version from the Git. I think yes, this seems like you can. I would suggest to go with the stable version for now, like one that is been there for at least a month or two. But yeah, I don't think that that will play much into that will affect much of the development process. But yeah, if somebody has installed it on Windows, do let him know version, preferred version. So yeah, anyway, once you have this whole thing installed, once you have the SUI stuff set up, you will have in order to verify it, just type in the SUI version command, and it's you're good to go, right? Once you see this output, it means that the whole thing is pretty much installed. So yeah, so once this is done, we can actually move on to the Hello World program. This is where we start coding. Now, as I mentioned, for the first deploying your contract thing, we will actually deploy the contract first, and then as we go through the classes, we'll just reverse engineer the whole contract and see how each of the components work. Okay, I'll give you a basic rundown of the contract and the logic, but you guys just focus on getting everything ready, because the whole idea of running the contract is to make sure that everything is working proper, right? So right now, so what you have to do is the first thing, like this is a pretty standard procedure. Like those who have worked with Hard Hat or any of the framework knows this. This is how you initialize a new package, right? Initialize, sorry, a new work environment in for your SUI ecosystem. So the name is going to be like hello world. So just copy it. Let me just create a new directory for it. Just a second. So yeah, I have a new directory. I'll just open the file and yeah, just copy this command and it will just give you a folder structure for that code. Yeah. So once you have that, if you look at the folder, you can see that there is a hello world folder there with a bunch of files. So let me just open it with VS Code. So it's pretty much like a folder structure, the ones that you have used. Yes, GB, you want to say something? Okay. Oh, is it from the SUI? Like, is he also working on? Oh, okay, SUI full stack course. That's nice. Oh, okay, that's really nice. Oh, wow. Can you just share it on Discord too? Like, if it talks about the whole. Oh, nice. That's cool. Just share it on Discord too, so that people who are starting out can also look into that video. That's pretty cool. Thanks, Jimmy. Thanks for that. All right. So yeah. So we have a sources file which is basically empty, and we have a move.toml. Any idea what toml is or toml file is? Does this remind you of anything else in any of the other languages that you have used? This kind of a file structure? Yeah, package.json, exactly. Right. So it is sort of like a manifest.json file, or it's where you have all the dependencies and all the packages and everything mentioned. Okay. And anybody know the full form of this toml? Any idea on what toml is? It's a pretty funny name. Yeah, it's Tom's obvious minimal language. So it's sort of like a structuring language that helps you manage all these kind of like just like how YAML works and stuff. You can just structure the data, right? Tom's obvious minimal language, and it works just like how package.json works, like where you have the package name, the dependencies and stuff. And you can see that this package name is basically hello world, right? This is the name for our package. So in order to change that, you just have to give a different command here, like new something else, and it will create a package name. Like this is where you give that. Instead of hello world, you can give anything, and it will be reflected here. Okay. So that is sorted. So we have the environment set up for writing our contracts, like move on to contracts and stuff. So what next? Okay. So yeah, the sources file and everything is here. So here inside the sources file, just create a hello.move file. So let me just do that. All right. And so we have a basic contract here. So I'll just copy paste it and I'll just explain the whole thing. So the thing is, there is like with every new language or every new ecosystem, there are certain differences in the terminologies, right? So any guesses? So here the thing is, in Muon Suite, the whole thing that we're developing, it is not exactly termed as a contract. Okay, do you know what this thing is called? Like it is not exactly termed as a contract here. I think, yeah. So we are essentially developing some modules. Okay, we'll be developing. I think it is pretty much clear from this, initial, uh, you know, word itself. Like it's basically modules. And what is this? Those who have worked with Solidity knows this. This is basically the license identifier, right? Yeah, the license identifier. Just like how we do with Solidity, you can actually provide the licenses, like the licenses that you're applying for this whole code. And after that, the thing is, you are just like how we create contracts in Solidity, we are creating a module in Suite, or module using Move on Suite. Okay, and the naming convention is a bit different. So here the naming goes like this. So what you have to do is, in order to wait, there is an extension. Just give me a second. I don't like to see the language like this. There is actually an extension for this. Uh, Okay, I think there is an extension for Move. Uh, Move syntax highlighter. Okay. This highlights the. But I think the Suite team also has an extension. I forgot its name. Once I get the name, I'll just share it. It was there in their official doc, but I forgot. Anyway, yeah. Does this look better now? Yeah. Okay. This looks better. Anyway, so yeah. So this is how you start, like just like how you write a contract using contract hello world. Here the thing is, after module, what you have to do is, this actually represents the package name. Okay, and this is actually the name of the module. Okay, so this is what it means. So what we are saying is, there is this hello world module that is part of the hello world package. Okay, so that is the naming convention here. Right, it is not the name of the module itself, but you have to mention, like when you are writing it, you have to mention the package name too, right? So it is the package. So here what this represents is, it is this module from the hello world package, and the package name is actually mentioned here, like as part of our terminal file, right? So within that package, any idea on what this is? I mean, let's try and learn this by comparing it to Solidity. Any idea on what this is? Yes, exactly. Right. These are basically imports. Okay. Usually we, like in Solidity and all, it is basically, it lies outside the contract. But here, this whole use statement, instead of import, we use the use statement. Okay. And here you can see, this is basically the naming convention that I was talking about. Here, what it means is that I want this module from the STD. I want the string module from the STD package. Okay, right? I want the object, or I want the transfer module from the SUI package. Okay, so this is basically how you import all the necessary items. Do you guys understand? Like, this is how you import all the necessary items within the module itself. Okay, and then you have a structure called a struct. Now explain what a struct is. I'm pretty sure most of you know what a struct is. What is the key feature of a struct? An object, yeah. It's very similar to, it is basically similar to an object, meaning it helps you store data in a key value format, right? You will have a key and you will have a value, right? And these are certain, properties or attributes that you can attach to an object. We'll learn more about this. But the thing is, this is how you actually set up an object or a structure in Move. Okay. Yeah, exactly. It becomes a SUI Move object. Right. So yeah, this key and store. That's basically what it does. But like I said, since we are focusing on the deployment of the contract, let's just keep with this struct thing right now. Okay, like we will learn more. Like there are actually 4 attributes that you can attach to it. Key and store are 2 of them, but there are a couple of more things that you can do with it. But this is essentially how you actually declare an object in SUI. Okay, as you said, yeah, this is how you actually declare an object. And what about this? So you have an object here, and what about this? Yes, and what is the whole public thing here? What do you mean by a public function? Yeah, I mean any entity can call. Any entity outside this function that can, or this module can essentially call this function. And any idea what this entry keyword does? Access identifier. There you go. Any idea on what this entry keyword does? See, this entry keyword basically says that this is the main function, or this is the entry point function, or the entry function. Okay, people or entities can use this function as an entry point. Yeah, entry point of the module. Okay, think of it like the main function. Like when you are writing something, you always write a main function, right? Where the whole execution starts. So it works similarly where any entity outside this module can use this as the entry point. Okay, and fun is basically the function keyword, and you have the mint function. Okay, the name of the function is mint. Okay, and here you are passing something called as a transaction context, which it's bit like it's out there, but just know that this whole CTX thing, it is a transaction context. Okay, which we are passing into the function, right? And this means that this any idea like those who have attended the hacker house, what is this MUT thing, ampersand MUT thing? Not like a constructor, more like I said, more of like a main function. Like this is where the whole execution can start, like, or this is where the people can actually start the execution or the entry into this module. Yeah, mutable reference, meaning anything that is passed on to this via this context, tx context thing can be changed. Okay, like I know that this might be a bit taken from on day one, but just know that this mutable means that you can change the data that comes in through here. Okay, as part of this parameter. So and what we are doing is, based on the hello world struct that we have mentioned here, we are creating an object out of the ctx and a string, right? The second entity or second property that we have attached to the struct is a text. Right here we are giving the hello world text, and what we are doing is we are actually, you can see that we have we have imported the transfer module, and using this you are doing a public transfer of the object to the sender of this transaction. Okay, the sender of this transaction content. So based on this ctx we can get the information regarding who is calling this transaction. Okay, who is calling this function. Like the call to this function is obviously a transaction, right? So this context will be passed on to this function, and based on this context we can get the sender of the context, or center of the transaction. And we are so basically when we call, if I call this main function, what happens is a new object will be created and it will be sent to my account. Okay, or I will be it will be transferred to my account, or I'll be the owner of that object. That is basically what is happening here. So I'm creating an object in Sui, right? So this whole module, it's actually called a module. So this module sits inside the hello world package, and this module imports this whole lot of strings. It creates an object or a struct, and since it has the key and store, as Jimmy mentioned, it becomes an object. We'll talk more about that in the coming sessions. But yeah, we have modeled an object. We can say that we have modeled an object here, and we have created an entry function through which any entity outside this module can access or get an entry into this module. Okay, this will be the function that they can call, right? So this function is basically called mint, and it takes in the transaction context. Okay, and what it does is, using the transaction context, it creates an object taking that ctx as the id and stuff. And once the object is created, it transfers the object to the sender's address, or who are the senders, right? So that is the basic logic here. Okay, create an object and send it to the person who is minting it, right? Any questions here with the logic? Any doubts here? So this is the overview. Like there are a lot of things that we will unpack in the coming sessions. I just want you to get a complete idea of this, Like I said, since it's the first session, the idea is to run this, right, and make sure that everything is working. I just give you an overview so that you don't have any confusions while running the whole thing. So, any questions here? Anybody have any questions, doubts, anything? We will be going through each of these keywords. We'll be learning how to use them and everything. Okay. Right now, for the sake of this first session, just make sure that you understand the logic and what each part of the code does. Right. So, if you have any questions, you can ask. Any questions? Any questions or doubts or anything? Okay, awesome. So yeah, let's. So now that we have the contract, now that we have created the module, not the contract. Sorry. Let's see how to deploy it. We good, nice, good. So yeah, as with everything, we need to first build the contract. Meaning, I'll show you how this works. Like once you copy it, you just have to paste the command here. So build out the whole thing so that it is converted to something that the machine can understand. So updating so like I said, like you need, yeah. And once you build it, you have the bytecode. So what is the whole building process here? Or what is the equivalent of this in Solidity? Like you build the SUI move, like our module like hello.move, and you got this build folder. Yes. What is the equivalent process here on Solidity? Like the whole, like I'm talking about the build process. There is a name for that in Solidity 2. Like where we convert the Solidity language to machine readable language or machine learnable format. Yeah, that process. Yeah, it's NPX hard hat compile is the name of the command. And what does that command do? Yeah, it is quite similar to the compilation thing, right? You are basically converting the code from a high-level language to a machine understand into the bytecode, meaning something that can be understood by the machines, right? Yeah, you're converting it to the like in Solidity, like in hard hat, we compile the thing, right? We compile the code. Here we build the whole thing. Essentially, the idea is we are converting the code to something that the machines can understand. Okay, and there we have the artifacts folder in hard hat. Here we have the build folder. Okay, so once you have that, that's basically it. Now the thing is, so if you guys remember in Solidity, in order to deploy the contract, one of the first thing that we did was actually to create an account, right? We installed the MetaMask, we created an account. So here in SUI, you can actually use command line in order to create accounts. So this is how you do it. So just copy this command, and this is actually the algorithm that it uses. Okay. So just go to this place. Here I already have an account, but I'll just show you how this works. Just click on it, and the thing is, you can see that based on this schema, like this key schema, not the algorithm, like the key schema, you get an address, like you get an actual SUI address. Now, just like the private key, you are not supposed to actually share the recovery phrase. Okay, this is supposed to be a secret, and this once you get this recovery phrase, you should actually store it somewhere securely. But I already have an account. I just want to show you guys how this command works. Okay, and this is the account, right? You guys can see the account, right? So now we have a valid SUI account, and so next we need is like we need to attach ourselves to a network. So yeah, save the recovery phrase, and yeah. So the thing is here in this example, we'll be using something called the DevNet. Okay, any idea on what a DevNet is? Sorry. Any idea on what a DevNet is? Anybody? developer net. Really? I mean, DevNet is developer networks. I'm talking. Okay, what is the difference between testnet and DevNets? Jimmy just straight away went for the obvious things. Right? Yeah, it's not okay. So unlike the hard hat thing, it's not a local network. Okay, it is sort of similar to a test net, but much more like something that you use for the initial testing and stuff. Yeah, commitments exactly. Right, so it is sort of like a it's like that initial testing ground for your modules and stuff. Okay, unlike the I saw that a lot of you guys are mentioning the local network, so that is actually for hard hat. Okay, like in hard hat, the devnet means the network that is running in your local environment where everything is completely temporary, and once the whole execution stops, everything goes away. No, here it is more of like a preliminary testing route. Okay, I think Sam just gave the proper definition. I mean, Sam always comes up with the correct definitions. Are you working with the sweet team? I mean, like whenever I see Sam's anyway, no, I'm just saying, like, he has like all the straight like correct points and stuff. That's why. Anyway, so yeah, so we for this example, or for deploying the contract, we'll actually be using the devnet, which is sort of like a testnet but a bit less loose, in the sense like a preliminary testing ground. Okay, so what we have to do is, like, the first thing that we have to do is we have to make this, like, the account that we created to the one that we are going to use actively. So to do that, just copy this command, and I already have an account, so I'll be doing it. So yeah, anyway, oh, sorry. Yeah, so just copy this command and just paste your address. Okay, paste this address. So I have an address already, so I'll show you how that is done. Just copy this address. So it's sort of like setting your own environment variables and stuff. So this means, like, right now when I'm deploying something, or doing something with Sui, this is the account that will be used. Okay, so I have set the active account, and yeah, and now what we want to do is, we just like how we did with the account, we also need to set the devnet. And this is just like how we create that or get that https address from Alchemy. We are essentially connecting to the devnet via this rpc endpoint. Okay, so just copy this command first. You can copy the whole thing and run it simultaneously, but let me just be a pro about it. Oh, wait. Yeah, so I have already configured it. That's why, like, it already exists because I've already done this, right? And you can switch to this. So once you get to this new environment, it will automatically set the whole devnet as your default environment, and you'll be using it just like how we set with the address. Yeah, there you go. So we have an active address that we'll be using, and an active network that we'll be using, right? So once you have both, what you have to do is, you just have to publish the whole client. But before that, in order to publish, you can see that we need, like, one thing that we need is, we have the account, but in order to test, just like any other testnet or any other mainnet, you actually need to get some test tokens, right? So one of the most straightforward ways to get the test tokens is actually to go to the Discord server, like the SUI Discord server. Like, I'll give you the invite. Just give me a second. Okay. So yeah, so I'll just put the invite in the chat. yeah, so this is actually an invite to the Discord server. So once you go to the server, what you have to do is go to the test like DevNet section. Okay, this is the DevNet faucet. So here, just click on this command faucet and paste your address there. Okay, the address like that you have used. So I already have some tokens in my address, so I'll just copy this one and just send this command. So what happens is this you like these guys, they will send some test tokens to your address. Okay, so just use the invite, get to the server, go to the faucet section and just type in this command with your address and they will send you the token address. Like I have some tokens here. You can see that I have some tokens here. Okay, so I'll show you also how to set the wallet too, but yeah. So once you have that, you can just publish the contract directly. So for that, what you have to do is just copy this client, like the publish thing. So that is the command for publishing the contract onto the network. Okay. And the thing is, instead of your path, what you have to do is you have to get the complete path, okay, or the absolute path of this hello move. So just in VS Code, just right click and click on this copy path, not the relative path, but the like copy path, this command, and just paste it here. So this is the path, and here we are mentioning the token limit. Just like how we set the gas limit for Solidity contracts, we are setting the token limit. Now, is it SUI? What is the matrix here? Like, are we using like how many is this? This much SUI tokens? Like you can see that I have given a large, rather large number here, right? So is this the amount of SUI tokens, or how is this? What is the numerics here? Or what is the denomination here? Any idea? Any idea on what is the denomination that we are using here? Yeah. So in SUI, they have just like how we have GUI and Way and everything in Ethereum, they have something called as MIST. Okay. So this is like 10,000 MIST. Like I think one, you know, SUI is equal to like I think it's a billion MIST or something. So yeah, yeah, 10 raised to 9. Yeah, exactly. So it's like 1 billion missed. Okay. So this is actually not SUI. The denomination is not SUI. It's actually missed, meaning a part of SUI, a partial part of SUI. Like one, like 10, the correct number is like, 10 raised to 9 mist makes up one SUI, right? So yeah, so we are giving the gas limit just like how we have the gas limit in Solidity. We are giving the gas budget here, and let's just click on this. So this basically what it does is, since we have set the network and the address here, it will use both of them to send this contract to, yeah, there you go, right? We don't have to give the address and the network here because we have already set it, right? We have set the address using the switch command, using the new env command. We have set the devnet. So based on all this, we will be all you have to do is just use the public, the client publish command to actually publish the whole contract. And the contract, the module address should be given as the absolute path, like the complete path. And once it is successful, you will get a huge message like this, meaning that your module is successfully published to the network. Okay, so this means, like, once you get this message, it means that the entire process is done. Like, you have successfully installed the dev environment for SUI and building using Move on SUI. Okay, so this is what we plan to do with this session. So by the end, the thing is, once you get this message, that means that everything is properly configured, right? You're like, everything is properly configured from your end. So, and just like our Ethereum Explorer, you have one for SUI too. So what you can do is you can just paste your account address here and see all the transactions that you did, just like how our Ethereum Explorer works. I don't know why my net is slow, but yeah, this is how it basically works, right? And another thing is, okay, so once you have this or once you get this message, that means everything is properly configured in your suite, in your dev environment. And in the coming sections, we will actually see how to write contracts, what are the different parts and everything. But right now, just make sure that you understand the logic of the overall logic of the contract and try to deploy it to make sure that every part of your dev environment is working properly, right? And after this, so there is one more easy way, to get even if the SUI focuses on objects and stuff, we still have accounts and we still need wallets, right? So SUI also has this wallet. So what you can do is I'll just show you the whole thing using Chrome. So so this is my Chrome browser where I haven't installed the SUI wallet. So just click on this link and you can just click on the add to Chrome, add the extension. And just like how we do with MetaMask and stuff, you will have the SUI wallet. Right now, another thing is like you can use Google and stuff to sign up, but since you have an account here, right, you already created an account here, right? So what you can do is you can import this account directly to this wallet. For that, what you have to do is you just have to click on this more options, and there is import the passphrase, right? Click on this and just enter the passphrase one by one. Okay, just enter the passphrase one by one, like the one that you see here. This is 123, and enter it here, and you will get this account here. Okay, you will be able to import your account that you created in the terminal, right? And there is also an option, like when you get started, there is also an option to get. I'll show you. I think it comes with. Yeah. So when you start out, there will also be an option to actually get the forces, like the test tokens. Like there will be a button that prompts you to get the test tokens too. So once you get the wallet, it is pretty easy to actually get the test tokens because there is always a wallet. You don't have to go to the Discord. But yeah, it actually takes you through the whole process of importing your a wallet using the recovery phrase and everything. And yeah, there is once you get that, like once you start, since I have already used my account, I don't see that button. But once you are if you're starting out, you'll have the request devnet token stuff. A button will be there. You can just click on it to get the test tokens. And so the thing is, from now on, we'll be using the wallet. But I think the command was just to show you how you can actually create the test tokens and stuff like that. Like how you can actually create the wallet using commands. So yeah, this is it. I think this basically covers the first portion of it. Okay, let me just take a screenshot of this. Yeah, just take the screenshot and yeah, there you go. That was love. Yeah. So yeah, then you have that button to actually get that faucet stuff. I don't think I'll get it because I already have too much. Oh yeah, I got it. That's nice. So just go to that settings bar and you can request new tokens from here. Right. So yeah. So just upload the screenshot here, and I think we'll be done with the first section. Okay. So set up the wallet and also share that wallet screenshot in the Discord chat group. So I guess this is a start. This whole introductory session was just to help you get started with setting up the development environment for Move on Sui, and showing you how to deploy the contract. We will be breaking down each and everything about the contract in the coming sessions. Like I said, this is actually one of the biggest courses on Metaschool. So, we'll be going through each and every one of these parts of the contract. By the end of the week, you'll start writing contracts on your own. Okay. But for this session, it's just about, setting up the environment and making sure that everything is correct, like properly set up. Right. So any questions? Yeah, so that timer, yeah, you can use that timer. So that timer is actually sort of like a challenge, right? If you can just complete it in 3 days. It's sort of like a challenge. It's sort of like prompting you to just complete it in 3 days, right? If you want to, you can take it up as a challenge and try and complete it. But we'll be breaking down one by one, like the whole thing. We'll just go through the course and we'll just complete it, in a week's time. So yeah, any questions? Manish, don't be angry. I mean, you can try it. No issues there. If you try it, I think you can actually assist us complete the help others and everything, right? So yeah, any questions, any doubts? So this part, like this is just the introductory part where we are just setting up the whole environment, just testing a contract, deploying a contract to see if it works and everything, right? We'll be diving into the details from the next session. So if you have any questions or doubts, you can ask. If you have any kind of questions or doubts, you can ask.
Yeah, I have a question.
Sure.
Yeah, and the question is, like some of us are not so technical, so we might not get everything that you've said. Would we be able to get access to the site just to follow the processes stepwise?
Sure. So the thing is, like, the site is completely free. You can access it. Like, the whole thing is completely free. Like, I'll just share the link here, and I'll just put the link in Discord too. So the thing is, this site and the course is completely free. You can just go to the link and enroll for the course. So everything that I teach here is already there in the course. Okay, so you can just take your own time and just go through the course and stuff. Okay, it's completely free, and if you have any questions, you can reach out to us via Discord or Twitter or wherever. Okay, so it's completely free. You can just go to that site and just start learning. No issues.
Thank you.
Okay. So yeah, any other questions? Yeah, sure. Yeah, Jimmy, do put it on Discord so that people who are having trouble installing the whole suite thing can just go through it. Thank you for the resource. That's good. Any other questions or doubts? If not, I think we can wind up today's session. From tomorrow onwards, we'll start breaking down what a variable is, how to the syntax of the language and everything, right? So, and do post your learnings on LinkedIn and Twitter and wherever, right? Let everybody know, let everybody know that you guys are also, jumping on the move train, right?